It's time to experience something glorious. Unacademy Combat. Compete, crack, conquer.
A challenging GATE contest engineered to give you an experience like none other.
Where you put your knowledge to test
and battle it out with the best.
To bring out the best in you, Unacademy Combat is the most competitive, gamified contest for GATE till date, with the best of the questions by best educators.
with detailed video solutions from top educators right after each contest.
Combat live with peers to get real-time rankings and win big.
Participate in every contest to improve your ratings.
Challenging contests every fortnight or alternate Sunday. Live ranking after every question. Big rewards for top rankers. Your passion to crack GATE deserves this. Your hard work towards your dream deserves this. Fuel your inner fire for the ultimate GATE challenge. Unacademy Combat. Register now.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to Unacademy, which is the largest online education platform for GATE, CS and IT. Here myself, Mallesham Devasani. I'm taking C programming, where we are going to look at today the functions and recursion. And the entire C programming language is going to contain the set of functions. Yes, any program you write, you will have set of functions, but the functions are going to maintain the set of statements, where the statements again can be the functions. Okay, that's what we are going to look at today. What do you mean by a function? Why C program purely depends on the functions? But whereas you look at C++ or Java, they have a different approach like object-oriented programming languages. But now in C, we don't have object kind of concept. Here, mainly variables and functions. You want to deal with the data, you require variables and functions, remember. But whereas in other programming languages, additionally you may have objects. So here we don't have objects to deal with the data. Fine. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, Amjad. Good morning, Lavjit. Yeah. Good morning, Mohit. Shivam. Good morning. Monica. Good morning. Pratik. Good morning. Vijayant. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning, guys. Yeah. Please like the session. Everyone, please. That makes your presence. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, give me 2 minutes to introduce myself to the new users. Yeah. If you are new to this channel and new to this class, and we have already completed statements and tokens, loops and storage classes, and arrays and pointers. Yesterday, one session, practice session, also completed arrays and pointers. Today we will have one more practice session on arrays and pointers. The schedule I will be explaining at the end of the class. Okay, if you want to practice on arrays and pointers, please attend today evening session again. The part 2 is going to be covered today. And now we are going to look at the function and recursion. Yeah, good morning, Aman, Umesh, good morning. Okay, as you know, we have a total 4 classes which are running every day to cover all subjects within 22 days, I think. Yeah, so DBMS is 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. every day, and C language from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. By tomorrow we will complete the most important topics of C language, and then we will start, day after tomorrow we will start one more subject, you know that. Maths 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and computer organization from 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. every day. Yes. And if you want to know about me, I'm working as an educator on Unacademy in a GATE segment. And if you look at my background, I have experience in various institutes, like almost more than 12 years of teaching experience I have in the GATE segment. And if you look at my favorite subjects like TOC, compile design, C programming, discrete mathematics, algorithms and data structures, among them I'm going to take the first 4 subjects on this channel. Yeah. In case you need my referral code to get to take the subscription on Unacademy, you can use DEVALIVE to get 10% discount. Also, this might help you to access the free classes. Then you can use this DEVALIVE referral code. Good morning, narrator. Yeah. What do you get if you are joining Unacademy? The free classes are plenty. Thousands of free classes are there and you can attend them freely. If you are interested, you can also take the subscription or you can enjoy with the free classes on Unacademy. Yeah, the link is www.unacademy.com/DevaGateCSE. You can use this URL to access my classes as well as you can access all educators free classes too. And you can also install Unacademy Learning app using your mobile. Visit Play Store and search for Unacademy Learning app and install it. And we have two subscriptions which are paid subscriptions, Plus and Iconic. In case if you found that our classes are going to help you a lot and we are teaching where you are able to understand, you are able to gain the knowledge, and because every educator comes for the free classes to show what we are, and at the same time, in case if you want to learn freely, you can always do that. But if you want to learn seriously, you want to prepare systematically, you want to have a revision, you want to have a practice, you want to have a test series, you want to have a doubt clearing sessions, all of them will happen to the Plus and Iconic. So these are the benefits. We have live interactive classes, crash courses and weekly tests, doubt solving sessions, and you can learn the batches. You can join either English or Hindi batch or both of them as your choice, and you can join any batch as per your requirement. You can join all batches too. An Iconic, additional to the Plus, you will have a personal coach and separate material, planner, booster session and test analysis. All of them are going to help you a lot to crack the exam. And if you look at the Plus and Iconic, they have different price and different plans. And Plus, I'm just explaining 3 plans. Okay, apart from this, you have 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, but I don't recommend to go for even 1 year. If you want to learn the subjects now onwards, go for 2 years, which will help you to crack the exam, because price is not that much difference compared to the 1 year. And choose the 2 years plan and learn every subject in detailed manner and interactively with every educator, and ask your doubts and practice the test every week, and everything is free inside the Plus. And additionally, Iconic, you have little bit benefits. You can have one-to-one personal interaction with educators, and you will have a separate guide to coach you all the time. And that is what Iconic advantage, and separate material, separate sessions. This makes you understand more in detail. So here 1 year and 2 year plans, when you look at, they have the prices like 45,225 for 1 year and 66,600 for 2 years. And do not forget to use DEVALIVE referral code to get the discount. Yes. Now let's begin, guys. Good morning. Mukherjee, good morning. Imanshu, good morning. Come on, guys. Please like the session. Where are you guys? There's no relation between likes and live. Come on, guys. Please like the session. I'm waiting for your likes. Fine. In previous sessions, we have seen tokens and statements and storage classes. Yesterday, we have seen arrays and pointers. And still, you have to learn a lot. That is the reason we will practice whenever required. So, arrays and pointers is a very important session, a very important topic for us. So, we are also having additional practice along with the classes. So, that is the beauty of our classes. Not only we just learn within 5 days, we will also practice more whenever required. And I am going to promise you that entire C programming practice we will be doing in coming days. Once all the subjects completed, we will also gonna practice the entire C programming once, so that you will have a comfortability wherever you are lacking, you can cover up them. Yes. Victor, good morning. Nikhil, good morning. Sandeep, good morning. Ankit, good morning. Aman. Yes, please like the session, guys. Thank you so much. Today we have 2 important topics, function and recursion. Okay, let's begin. Okay, in the function, I'm going to talk about 3 things. Introduction, what is a function, and then types of functions, and there are parsing mechanisms in a function. We will be looking in detail how a function is implemented in C programming, right? So let's start with an introduction. Okay, now in the introduction, before starting, tell me what is a function? Narrator is already uploaded. Everyday PDF I am uploading in Telegram channel. Please browse it. You will understand. It is uploaded already. Atharva, good morning. If not uploaded, let me know. I will do that. But uploaded, I think so. Yes. Please help him, guys. Now, what is a function? How many of you know function? It just looks like a module. It just looks like a procedure in other programming languages. It just looks like a method in other programming languages, but function is basically a set of statements. Like a program, no doubt about it. Set of statements, they will be used for a specific task. Program you can call once, but functions you can repeat any number of times. You can execute this function as many times you want it in the same programming execution. Yes. Set of statements, it is a block which is going to execute whenever we call it. Exactly. Yes, Shivam Gupta. Fine. Guys, please tell them, Shivam Gupta and narrator, they are worried about the PDF I have uploaded yesterday in the Telegram channel. If not, I will look into it, I will upload, but uploaded, I have done myself. Fine. If not uploaded, I will look into it after the class. Don't worry much about it. Focus on this class first. Fine. Now, how a function can be written in the program. So every function that you do, there is a return type and there is a function name and you will have arguments. Yes or no? You will have arguments here along with its type. Arguments and types along with its types. This is a function, but the function has so much of significance in a program. There are three types of statements we write in the program, like function prototype, function definition, function call. There are three different statements which represents a function. Yes. Fine. Clear? And look at this kind of notation. We are going to use three different statements. Let's look at what kind of statements we have. So remember, return type, function name and arguments. Three things we require. And how do we specify? There are three different statements we might use to represent a function. And the main function is the definition here. Definition will have a meaning, remaining are different. The prototype basically will inform to compiler about the function and what return type, what kind of parameters, what type of parameters it's going to use. Then why do you need additional prototype? Really not all the times. Only when you are using the function but its definition is after the usage. Example, you are doing something like this, main, you are calling f, guys, but you defined f later. But how do I know that? Compiler compiling from the first statement like this. How do I know that? What kind of function? Everybody, function, will it have a return type or will it have arguments? How do I know that? So what we do is we write a prototype. Anywhere before use. I can write prototype here. I can write prototype here. It's my choice, like, void f void. Or you can also write here void f void. You can write above the main or inside the main, but write before the call. Yes. The prototype is much important when you have the function definition. This is called as a function definition is after the call. if the function definition is there after the use. So here this is called as a function call. So we have a function call, we have a definition, we have a declaration or prototype. So three things we have, guys. So we are going to talk about three things. Definition is actual function along with a meaning. Actual function where you have a meaning. Meaning is preserved in the definition, where for that definition the compiler allocates the memory inside. And now this is use. Whenever we need it, whenever we need, we can use the function. Everybody, whenever we need, you can call 100 times, 1000 times, but whenever we need it, we will call it. So let's start one by one. Okay, just look at an example to understand what is prototype and what is definition and what is the call. Okay. Something I'm going to print here. Obviously it prints 10, but what are the differences? If I'm using 3 times, this is called as a prototype, or you can call declaration. What is the use of this prototype or declaration? Which will inform to the compiler, I'm going to call the F before the definition. So you compiler need to know about the F. So when it calls, it knows already about F, so it will not generate any error. Today compilers are very intelligent. It can also find out if the function is there after the call. No need to give the prototype. The today compilers are little bit intelligent than old compilers. So prototype is optional, guys, today's compiler. And this is the function call. You're using that function, and whenever you need it, you can call it. And what is this one? This is a function definition. Function meaning preserved here. This is actual function where we have a meaning for that function. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, guys, if you have joined late, please like this session, guys. Okay, so have you understood the difference between declaration, call and definition? Declaration is not going to store anywhere. Compiler deletes the statement once it scans. And function call, wherever you require, you can use it. And that function call is going to jump to the actual function to execute the meaning. Right? So we will see the execution later. If you want execution, you can see that. It will start executing from here, but compiler already scanned. Now, when you are executing one by one, f of x, we will go there. Once we print y, and we'll return back to f, and the function terminates from here. Fine. So this environment we will talk about slowly. And to understand this function, you require one thing, activation record. You will study in compiler if you do not know about it. Activation record is required for every function. Why? Because of its own information, right? Every function will have certain parameters like function ID. If you are calling the same function again and again, in the recursive calls, the function ID can help you. And apart from this, you have local variables like local auto variables. Information is maintained in the activation record. Additionally, information of registers, files, IO information, anything related. Apart from that, access link and control link. So this I will be discussing soon about when I deal with recursion. But remember, so much of information, even program counter is also maintained. So much of information we require for every function. To execute that function, you need a separate environment, and this activation record is also called as activation frame. It's also called as activation frame. But every function we require this frame. Right. Clear? So understand, in the runtime environment, the compiler is going to share so much of information to the operating system so that the OS can understand what actually a function is. When it is going to execute the code, it knows little bit of information about the function. Right. So I'll talk about this slowly. Now let's talk about function first before activation frame. Everybody, first you should know about the function. Fine. There are two types of functions. Before defining your own function, remember, you have library functions and user defined functions. Have you studied printf, scanf? Have you implemented them? No, right? You're using them. Printf, scanf, so many like getchar, putchar, so many, right? GetS, puts, and so many functions which are even math function like sine, cos, everybody, square root. There are many functions are there in math.h. So this kind of functions already built in. So predefined, built-in functions, you can say them. Or somebody implemented for you, you are using them directly. And user defined, we are going to define in our programs, we are going to inform what kind of function, what is the return type, what are the parameters and what are their types, what is the function name, everything we define. User defined is not implemented already. Yes. Yeah, Lavjit, you know so many functions, great. String length, even string.h maintains so many functions like string length, string concatenation, right? Yeah. So now we are talking about only user defined functions. Even built-in functions also, they follow this concept. And now again, the types of functions, if you want to define your own function, functions again 4 types. You can use a function, you can declare a function, you can define a function without arguments, without return type, without arguments, with return, with arguments, without return, both. You can have arguments and return. So how to implement them, how to define them, everybody? So we are going to look at, and any logic you want, you can use all the 4, you can use any of them. There's no, you can, if you are able to implement with arguments and with return, you can also implement same logic with any other. So it's your choice which one to implement. So I'm going to implement the 4 functions, 4 types of functions to get the same task, to do the same task. So I want to do the same task, guys. Okay, before that, you need to understand there are 2 environments when you are dealing with the functions. One is called as calling function. Other one is called function. What is called function? Look at this. I am using main. Inside I am calling f. And f is a different function where it has its own body. Yes or no? There are 2 functions here, main and f. Everybody agree? And what f is called as? Called function. Because we called it. And main is called as calling function. It's going to call the f. And who is the caller? This is called as a caller. And this is called as a callee. Look at the names, guys. Main is the calling function and f is called because you are going to call that f. And f, that statement is called as a caller. And that f is called as a callee, right side. And if you are going to pass anything, here we will have actual arguments environment. Actual arguments you can pass, but I didn't pass. In case if you pass like x, then it is going to take something like int a. right? Here X is called as actual arguments, and A is, if you have A here, A is called as a formal argument, also called as a parameter. Arguments, parameters, both are same words. Yes. Understand. And we need to pass some values or some addresses to the called function, and you need to take control back once you send the control to the called function, guys. So the control always goes this side and it comes after some time execution, it will come back. And the called function need to return the control back to the calling function, and calling function first it need to send the control to the called function and it should take the control back to the calling function. And it is a whole big process when you are dealing with the functions, guys. Everybody, so look at, we have functions. In the functions we have arguments. Everybody, and there is a control transferring from one statement to other statement. We need to understand much about this one. Everybody, yes. And formal arguments are there in the called function. Actual arguments are there in the calling function, where the caller is going to help us who is actual argument. Fine. Let's move on. First, my task is adding the two numbers, two integers, guys. Let's look at how to add using the 4 different types of functions. I can do the same job with 4 different types of functions. My job is addition of two integers with the help of function. Now, I'm going to write a code. And there is a one advantage, you don't need a prototype if you implement the function before the main, guys. I am implementing sum, and I'm going to add two numbers. I'm going to add two numbers, int x comma y. You can enter or you can give some values yourself. It is your choice. I'm giving inside, but you can also, you write the scanf, you can take the values from the keyboard. And then I'm doing a printf sum of two numbers, or sum is equal to, or addition equal to %d, which is x plus y. And now compiler scans this code first, so you don't need a prototype because the first line itself you have here. In this line you have header also. This is treated as header, prototype, as well as it is having definition too. And now I'm just calling the main, calling the sum inside the main. Is it over? Will it print 30 or not? Yes. Now here you don't have the actual and formal arguments, guys. Here x and y called as local, they are not the formal arguments. Remember, here x and y are just local. They are not called as a formal. Remember, local arguments. Then who are the formal? That we pass, that we get into this function. Clear? Great. Keep going, guys. What is output? What is output now? How do you execute? You will start from the main, and when you call a sum, you go to the called function, and here x and y are local. So 10, 20, they are created on the stack, and you are going to get here sum is 30, and we are going to get the output addition equal to 30. Everyone, and then control comes back to here itself, and then control sends to operating system. One by one at a time, guys. Here two functions we have. First we call the main, then main calls sum, and sum executes, and sum in case, look at total how many functions are there here. Total 3 functions, guys. 3 functions total. Anybody observe that? 3 functions. What are they? One is main, other is sum, and there is a predefined function which is a printf. And printf also goes to the other environment, comes back to understand that, guys, that we are not looking at all. It goes somewhere and it comes back but this environment is hiding. We are hiding that environment. Yes. Here main sum are called as user defined. Even main is also user defined. We are defining it. Of course, the only prototype is defined, but whole function we are defining it, and this printf is a predefined. Right? Fine. Let's move on to without arguments and with return. Now I want to do the again same sum of two integers only, but how to build that? So many ways, but just I don't want to send the arguments, but I want to take the sum or return value. Then I just write int. It is a return type, you know that. Sum. Here I don't pass anything. And now, but where do I get? I might have inside declared int x and y. Or I can just initialize while declaring itself if I know the values 10 and 20. And now I'm just returning a return x plus y. No need to print now. And the main is going to catch it. Like directly I can do something printf that addition is equal to %d, and directly you can call a function as an argument in the printf. It's over now. Now what happens when you start executing main goes to printf, but printf first it has to understand sum. So sum is executed first, and here x gets 10, y gets 20, and the sum is 30. So 30 returns here. So here the output is very simple. Addition is equal to 30 again. But we have now return value of the function. Previously we did not have that. Everybody, here one thing should match. Here the return type and return value, the type of return value should match. Everybody, so both should be integer, otherwise we will get an error from compiler. Come on. Where are you guys? Sleeping today? Right. Great. Are you there? Let me know. You are not interacting. That's not good. Say something always. Okay, next. With arguments and without return. With arguments, without return. Again, I want to do the same. Addition of two integers. Now, with arguments, I don't want to return void sum. Arguments I'm going to take from the main maybe. Now here I'm going to write a printf. Addition is equal to, because I don't want to return, right? So I'll just do a plus b. Now what main does is it has its own variable. It is going to pass, like you have int maybe x comma y, doesn't matter. Don't worry about variable names. It's your choice. Any variable name you can use it. Now what I'm going to call the sum of x comma y. Everybody, now the first time you are passing an arguments, passing arguments here. Now what is xy guys here? This environment x and y are actual arguments because you are passing them. Actual parameters or actual arguments. And here a and b are called as formal parameters. And here sum is called as a callee. Caller. Sum is called as a caller. And this sum is called as a callee. And here main is called as calling function and sum is called as a called function. Yes. Everybody, because we are relating one with other. Yes. Pass by value, pass by address, we will see later. Just assume that you are understanding now. Now, you start from main and here x and y are local. 10, y is 20. Now here 10, 20 passed. Not directly XY did not, we don't send. We send the values only. Remember that, guys. It's impossible to send the names directly. There are mechanisms called by name, something else, but they are different. And here we are going to call sum now. And sum we are going to call. What happens here? A gets 10, B gets 20. That means A will have 10, B will have 20. Then 10 plus 20, 30 will be printed. That is, addition is equal to 30. Again, same output. This is our output. And after that, control returns to here and then comes back from the main to the operating system. Yes, AB called as the formal arguments and XY called as actual arguments. Now I have a question for you. In case there is something like int C inside, C, is it called as a formal argument? No. C is a local auto variable. Everybody, don't call C is a formal argument. Only the formal actual comes, what we pass, what we take. Everybody? Yes. In the formal, you may initialize if you want to say the default. If you don't have the values inside the main, you are passing the garbage values, you can take the default values, and C++ Java, it's a well implemented about the initialization. Yes, you can do that logic. Fine. And here, in case you have another one like int Z, and don't call Z is the actual argument because you're not passing it. Only which you pass, which you take, they comes under actual and formal. And other variables we don't call as arguments. Everybody? So remember that point. Now let's move to the last one, that is with arguments and with return value. Now again I want to do the addition of two integers. I would like to add the two integers, addition of two integers. Now this is also with arguments. I want to take the return value also. Int is my return type because I'm going to return an integer value, and sum is a function name. I'm going to take the two arguments like int A, int B. And I want to return, so I will do that as per my requirement, return. Even you can scan, you can use a scanf to read the values if you don't have from the main. Return A plus B. And main is another function where the execution begins. And now I have two things here. Int, let's say x is having 10, y is 20. I'm going to print it directly. Addition is equal to %d. That is, I want to call sum of x comma y. Now, same. We will start executing from the main. You have xy local here to the main, and sum of 10 comma 20. So we are going to call this first, and that A gets 10, B gets 20. So we have A is a local to this function, but A and B are called as formal parameters, and we are going to return 30. So this 30 comes here, and that 30 we are going to print. So we will get again same, addition is equal to 30. We get an output. Clear? Everybody, did you see that? You can implement a function in any manner that you decide first. Do you really want to send the arguments from calling function to called function? That you decide. If you want to really take the value from the called function to the calling function, then it is all your choices. Everybody, it's all your choices. But here there are two types of functions which are really important. Anybody guess which out of these four, which two functions are important? Anybody guess? Out of four functions, which two are important? Anybody guess? Which are really important? These two, because you are sending the arguments. So you need to have the mechanism to deal with them. To deal with this to deal with this functions, we have two mechanisms. One is call by value, also called as pass by value, and second one called as call by reference. And this mechanism not at all required for the first two types. Everybody? So because we are sending the arguments from a calling function to called function, definitely you need the mechanism. Do you want to send the value or you want to send the address? Exactly. Is that clear? So we need two kinds of mechanisms to pass the values. They are call by value and call by reference. In other programming languages, you have call by address, call by name, call by text, call by constant. There are so many call by value result. There are so many mechanisms in the world, right? But some programming languages, they have only few mechanisms. Like C, we have only two mechanisms, call by value, call by reference. When you go to C++, there is another mechanism, call by address. Everybody? Yeah. Now, we are going to understand call by value and call by reference. So what is call by value and what is call by reference? Clear? Okay. First call by value. Okay, now I write the code. Left and right, guys. Left side I write the main, right side I write the function, called function. So I'm just using call by value. Look at, I can use the same example if I want it. So I'm just writing here, it's going to return something and sum of int comma int. This is a prototype. In case compiler need, it is going to read what is the return type, what type of parameters we have when you call. And now we have the function sum, which you have int. I can use x also, guys. I can use the same name also, but both x and y are different. Both x and y are different. Now here you need to observe, here two environments are there, and when you are executing the program, two activations record will be created for this. For main and sum, two different activation records. Yeah. Nishu, good morning. Now what happens here? What happens here, guys? From the main, you are going to do something. What are you going to do? You are going to call this function, no doubt. But what you are going to do? You are going to pass the values 10, 20 only. So it's going to look like sum of 10 comma 20. Everybody? That is the function call from the main. Everybody, here x is local 10, y is a local 20, but x and y also actual arguments. And here x and y both are there, but they are formal. And both sides x and y are there, but they are different memories. Remember, formal arguments, actual arguments, they have different copies. Copies means memories. Yes. Here, the first point, note. First point, actual arguments and formal arguments have different copies, different memories, different memory. Everybody? That is why XY have created the boxes, layouts left side and as well as Right side also I maintain separate layouts because they are different memories. If you want to look at, this might be 1000, this might be 1004, this might be 2000, this might be 2004. They have different memories. Fine. Correct? Yeah. Now what happens? 10 plus 20, 30. And 30 is returned to whom? It's going to return to the exactly to the Z. And Z is going to hold now 30. But Z is not formal, actual, no relation with X and Y, guys. No relation with X and Y. Only what relation is there? Z is also local variable in the main, but X, Y are called as actual arguments in the main, X, Y in the sum called as a formal arguments. And formal, actual, no need to have the same name, right? You can have different variable names also. So most of the people, they had a confusion. X, Y, if they see in the both the functions, please don't read they are same. They are different here. Everybody? Yeah, answer is same. It will produce output is 30. But understand what are the what is the importance of call by value. Call by value, we pass the values. We don't pass the address or any other. We pass the values of X and Y. Yes. Here, if in case, if we update, if we modify formal argument, suppose in case, will actual update? No. If suppose somebody writing X is equal to X plus 1, Y is equal to Y plus 1, then 10 become 11, 20 become 21, that it is going to return instead of 30, now X plus Y is 32. Now output is 32. Everybody? Now this time the XY of the sum, the XY of called function we updated, but main XY are not updated. So if we modify formal arguments, then actuals do not modify or do not affect. They do not modify. Everybody? You can say actuals are not modified. Okay? Actuals will not affect. Fine. That means there is no permission to access the actuals inside the called function. You don't have any access to the actual. You don't have any access to this actuals from the called function. Here we have no permission to access directly to access actuals. Great. Clear? Now this is about call by value. Now call by reference. Now you need to take the help of pointers. Everybody, let's see how to take. Now, small change here that I am going to help you. I'm going to do something, guys. I don't want even Z, because this is a different mechanism, so you need to work out little bit. I'm going to show values before calling the function, because I want to know really are they updated. So I'm just going to call something here. Don't worry about what I'm calling, we'll understand slowly. Okay, I did what I did now, call by reference. No, Amit, we don't have call by address in C language. C++ we have, that's different. So in C language we have a call by reference. Before invention of C++, reference address are actually same, but they are different now because of C++ language. In C++ we have two different mechanisms, call by reference and call by address. Both are different. Yes. Fine, don't worry about it. Now let's start, guys. Now XY here different again. Here also XY different, no doubt. But here XY are pointers. Here XY are formal arguments in one side. This side XY are formals. Here this side XY are actuals. You know that. But this side XY are pointers and left side XY are integers. Remember, I can have same name or different name, this is my choice. Now what we are going to send here, let's say 1000, 2000 is addresses. Then we don't send the values. What we send here, internally what happens here, we call f of 1000 comma 2000. Means X is going to hold here 1000, 2000. And what happens here, 1000 means indirectly it is pointing to this X, and 2000 means indirectly it is pointing to this Y. Now whenever you do star X is equal star X plus 1 and X is equal X plus 1 will not affect, guys. Don't do. It is the pointer's choice. Should I update or not? Everybody? Now it has an access to the actual arguments. How? Star X plus 1. What happens? Actually directly it is going for star 1000, that is a 10 plus 1 is 11, and Y plus 1, star Y plus 1 is a 21. It's going to update directly on actuals. So now the formals take a decision. Now formals take a decision whether do they want to access or not. It is their choice now. Don't say always they access. It is their choice. Okay, if they want to update they can. Now initially X is 10, Y is 20. So the first output they are going to produce what? 10 comma 20, and second output is going to produce 11 comma 21. So output when you see, first you will see 10 20, second you will see 11 21. But have you seen that both are actually sending something from calling to the called, even call by value, call by reference. In call by value, the formal arguments, they don't have an access to actuals. Now here the formal are pointers. Remember X, Y are called as the pointers here. They are not just integers. So they have a capability to access using the dereference mechanism. Exactly. Yes. Now what is the point to remember, guys? What is the point to remember? Now the point is formals can modify the values of actuals data. Everybody, this is the main difference between call by value and call by reference, right? Here we send the addresses from the actuals to formals. So formals can access the actuals with the help of dereference mechanism, right? So this side both are pointers, remember, and here both we are sending addresses. These are addresses. So we call this as call by reference mechanism. We are using reference. The X and Y are referring to X and Y, so we call by reference. Fine. Okay, let's practice example guys quickly. Now let's practice. If you want to talk about f as no arguments, no return. So what happens when you call f? X locally has a 5 and 5 incremented 6, and here it's going to print 6. Yes or no? And control returns back here. So first output is a 6. First output is a 6. And now what happens when you return? Remember guys, this is auto variable. Yes or no? This automatically destroyed when the control returns to the main. So this will be destroyed when you are returning, when you have returned to the main. So when you have called again, the new x will be created, which is 5, and it will become 6. Again it will print 6. So here you will get the next 6 without any space. So 66 is an output. Again control returns here, then it goes to the operating system. 66, yes. Here what is happened? Every time you call the function, the x is created and destroyed. X is created and destroyed. Everybody? Yes. Alright. Okay. Chalo, next one. Can you tell me the output? I'll wait for the answer. Come on. Now what is the answer? Yeah, we need to go for the recursion and practice that too. Amit, already the question सामने है in the case of static. Yes, 67 is an answer. 67. What happens? Before executing the program, do one thing. Create X in the data region, keep the 5 and delete it. And what do you do? And this F point to this X. It knows which X it is. Now whenever it needs X, it knows where to access. Now when you go to execution, X plus 1 means it is going to update here, and it prints 6, and control comes out again, and when it goes again, now variable will not create. Remember, first time only created, that is before executing the program. Now this time X plus 1 will update here, because every time F looks there. So now next time you get an output 7, and the control returns and goes to the operating system back. So output is 67 guys. Right. Yes, even though F returns here, even though F returns the control back to the main, X still exists because this lifetime is a program termination. Till the program terminates, this is going to exist. This creation, this X creation does not depend on function. It depends on program execution. When the program begins execution, this X is created when program begins, not F begins. It is created when the program started execution. And destroyed only when program terminates. Clear? And remember this point, here X I can't use. Why? Because X is not visible to the main, only visible when you go to the inside the F. Remember, everyone, You can't write x is equal to x plus 2 within the main, even though x is there. It's because out of scope. X is not visible to the main, only visible to the f, because which was declared and defined inside the f. Okay, now let's move to the another example. Come on. Next one. Little bit complicated program. Let's see who will answer this question. या yesterday तो 100 क्रॉस किया, आज 50 होने के लिए बहुत मुश्किल हो रहा है. सो रहा है क्या लोग? कुसुम अब तक तो प्लान नहीं बनाया, हम बनाएंगे बाद में. Two different x, मोस्पी, प्रेम. दो अलग अलग स्टैटिक वेरिएबल, दे अलग अलग स्कोप में है ना, दो अलग अलग मेमोरी क्रिएट करेंगे ना. चलो चलो कम ऑन. Five, 3, 1. Anybody else? इतना तो अभी प्लान नहीं बनेगा कुसुम, अगर एग्जाम है तो. 2 is the answer, 3 is the answer. What is the right answer? Come on guys. 3, 1. Whenever I start executing this code, you must be completed your scanning. 3, 1, 3, 0, 2, 3. Let's begin. Okay, you are confused so much. Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you. And tell me, is that clear, everybody? X is already created before executing, so this code is not visible to anyone. Everybody? While executing, that static index is not there. It just linked. F is linked with that X. Clear? Okay, now I'm going to start executing from the main. From the main. First I call F. First time when I call F, what happens? You go to this F and you do return x minus minus. How many of you know x minus minus? It's x minus minus nothing but 5 only. But when it is sending 5 here, at the same time this 5 become 4. But here it comes 5 only. 4 will not come. Everybody, is this clear first? 5 will be returned, but x value will be decremented. And x is not destroyed because it's not auto variable. And now it calls the second time. And again we are going to execute. This time 4 minus minus. The 4 will be returned. Here 4 comes out. But 3 happens immediately. Post decrement exactly. Now again that 4 is a true. 4 is a true. So what we do? We go inside. We call one more time F. Third time F we are calling, guys. Third time F. This time again we have 3 minus minus means 3. So now we will return here 3 only. 3 only. But immediately we do 2. First time output is printed as the 3. Everybody, first output is the 3. Now the control returns to the, you know that. The control returns from here to here F. What is this F? Can I delete all this information so far? Okay, so that you will have a clarity what I am explaining. So what you got? We got 5 here, we got 4 here, we got 3 here. Now what about this F? What do you get here? When you call this one, no, this is not there. 2 minus minus 2 comes out. 2 comes out here. Here 2 comes out. And then we go here, and when we call here, and what it returns, when 2 comes, this will automatically 1. It is going to send what? It is going to send, come on guys, come on. It is going to send 1. 1 is a true or false? True. Everybody? It's going to send. So 1 minus minus, it's going to be 0. Right. 3, 0. What's happening? And minus 1, is it? But how many of you have realized I'm very blind here? Nobody identified the answer. Have you seen the semicolon at the end of the for loop? Nobody has seen. I am also executing, you are also executing. And this is called as a blind execution. How many of you have seen this semicolon? Printf is only executed once. It's not misprint, it is true. Right, it is true. No one. That means it's a blind execution, and semicolon is very important. Very important. Nobody, I was expecting somebody will look at it and will answer it. Nobody did that. It's going to cost our exam. It's going to do infinite loop if you do that. Everyone, so now look at again. Pratik only saw, I have seen only one answer in the beginning. Itna log hai, 50 almost. Nobody answered 0. Everybody is executing blindly. Pratik answered later on. Yes. That means you should be very careful about the loop, functions, whatever you do it. Doesn't matter. Now do it again, but these two are different statements. Yes. What's the answer? तो start हो रहा है ना अभी दोबारा start हो रहा है execution. चलो शुरू कर लेते हैं. Delete x is 5 and you call the f. What it returns? 5 only, but it does immediately 4. Yes or no? 5 it sends. Next it sends, when you call it, it sends 4, but immediately does 3. And there is no body now, so next statement is this one only. Yes or no? It calls next, it gets 3 next, but immediately it does 2. And when you call f, second time when you call f, you get 2. 2 is the true, so again it executes, but 2 becomes 1. When you call again, then what do you get? 1, but immediately does 0. When you call f now, what happens is, this time when you call f, you get a 0, but immediately does -1. Pratik also did 0 answer, that's wrong. X is -1, but 0 is a false. When you come out, printf, it's going to call the f. This time -1 will be returned, and -1 become -2, and -1 will print. Even 0 is also wrong answer, guys. Everybody, look at the importance of this question. 0 पे false होगा, but x तो automatically post decrement था, वो update हो गया था. Yes. Come on. -1 is an answer. Everybody? -1 is the answer. Okay. Pratik Soni. There are 2 Pratiks. Pratik Soni, Pratik Jaiswal. I'm not talking about Jaiswal. Okay. Great. Yeah. So a small observation is needed. Yeah. Correct. Great. So look at, everybody knows that, but still the ignorance is very dangerous. Okay, so before starting the recursion today, and if anybody is preparing for 2022 or 2023 and the batch is going to begin soon, and you may take the subscription and use DEVALIVE referral code in case you need a referral code and to get the 10% discount. And this batch is going to start soon, and the top educators are going to join this batch, and we'll be announcing entire schedule soon. But be ready for taking the subscription. Fine. Now start recursion, guys. What is a recursion? In the recursion, we are going to learn many things like how to deal with activation record, and there are access links and control links. And when you are dealing with the scoping, in programming language, in compiler, you have static scope, dynamic scope. I've already covered in the compiler, guys. You can watch that practice session too. Okay, so these things are already covered in other sessions. If you want, you can cover them, right? So when you are dealing with recursion, you should be very careful how to deal with the records, because same function called itself, that same function calls itself. That is called as what? Recursion. Like you have f, inside this body f calls again. Yes. Now it means same function requires many activation records, because to maintain its own data, many activation records. If you don't have a recursion, every function just one activation record at any time, but this time you must need a different information for each f. If you call f again and again, you may not have the same information in every f. So this is the very important. And access links and control links will help you to remember the data as well as the control. The access link will help you to access non-local data. If the data is not available local, to access non-local data. And control link will help you to transfer the control to the previous calling function. Yes. Let's move on to the recursion. One small program to understand the recursion, then we'll practice. I think you have a practice. Yes. We have a lot of examples. Now suppose I'm calling, let's say, everybody knows factorial, right? That's a very good example. Fact, let me have a return value. So what I do is, if n is equal to 1, I return 1. Else no need to write, because if it is else definitely comes down. I'm going to return n multiply with f of n minus 1. That's a fact. And now I'm going to call this function from main. I want to see the output, printf %d, let's say fact of 3. Then how many activation records we are going to build? Look at. Okay, when operating system starts executing from the main, first which function starts executing? Main. So there will be activation record for the main. There will be activation record for the main. This is a main activation record. There are no local variables, so no problem at all. But access link, there are no global variables, so no access link. is null. Access link is null. Control link, there the control transfer to operating system when the main is over. Yes. Now first time but the main calls printf. Of course printf is user defined function, so that is also exist, but I'm not maintaining that. It's okay. Directly I'll call fact3 user defined. So fact3, so it calls this function. There is another activation record which will be created above just main, and इसका control link इसको point करेगा. Access link तो null है because I am not going to access any non-local data, and n is local. So n का वैल्यू क्या है अभी? What is n? n का वैल्यू क्या है अभी? 3. Everybody, now what happens here? 3 into fact of n minus 1. So it's going to call, I'm just calling one by one. Main calls fact of 3 and fact of 3 calls fact of 2. What is the fact of 2? Here n is 2, it's another activation record. It's going to call 2 into fact of 1. So this calls fact of 1. When you call fact of 1, n value is 1, but what happens now? It is going to return 1, no more activation records. So this is going to return 1 here. Everyone, but when you get a 1 here, when it returns 1 here, what happens here? There is a code here, 2 into 1, that is a fact of 1. This is going to return 2. And at this time, this was already deleted, this was already deleted. Now fact of 3 is holding 2, but this is multiplying 3 into 2, and that 6 is returned to main. And that 6 is returned to main. And this is also deleted. And the main, after printing output, you get a 6. And the control returns the main. Even main is also deleted from the stack. Yes. So what did you learn here? Single fact function has how many records? As many activation records. Why? At a time. Because it is a recursive call. That is the reason to support recursion, the stack is compulsory. If you don't have a recursion, stack is not required. To support recursion, stack is required. If you don't have a stack, it is not possible to implement a recursion, guys. Everybody, this is the so many times interview question and the competitive exam question. And to support the recursion, what kind of memory allocation is required? Stack memory allocation is required to support the recursion. Clear? Chalo guys. Let's practice now questions. Let's practice. Okay, I'll be waiting for an answer. What is f of 5? You can use the tree method, and so many methods are there to understand. Fifteen. What is the functionality? And questions are like question 1, return value of f of 5. Question 2, functionality of f. What is the functionality when we give functionality of f? Question 3, how many calls made? How many total calls on f of 5, including f of 5? Yes. there are three kinds of questions when they ask about functions. Yeah. What happened? When you call f of 5 and f of 5 calls 5 plus f of 4, it's going to return at the end, right? Because it's not equal to 0. And f of 4 is 4 plus f of 3. And f of 3 again, because 3 is not 0, so it's going to do 3 of f of 2. f of 2 is 2 plus f of 1. 1 is, that is 1 plus f of 0. At this time, because n value is 0, at this time it returns 1. It returns 1, guys. And 1 plus 1, 2. And 2 plus 2, 4. 4 plus 3, 7. 7 plus 4, 11. 11 plus 5, 16. But there is something. Yeah. How many calls we made, including f of 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 calls and return value is 16. But what is the functionality? If we send the n to the function, what is the value that depends on n? In general, what is f of n? If anybody passing n as the value, what is f of n? That is sigma n plus 1. That is n into n plus 1 by 2 plus 1. This is the functionality of the f. Everybody? Yeah, sum of n numbers plus 1, exactly. So this kind of questions are expected in the exam. So you should aware of that. What is the functionality of the program when you are executing for some value? Just not sum of first n natural numbers. Additionally, 1 is there now. If you have 0 here, then it is a sum of sigma n. But here 1 is given now, the 1 extra. Because of this one, the 1 plus sigma n. Yes. Right, plus 1. But it is sigma n. When it is sigma n, if you have 0 here, then it is sigma n. Activation record क्या यार? यही तो है ना? Every function call one activation record. No need to draw activation record every time. Come on, Nikhil. You need right output. Chalo. Answer is, everybody understood, it's a 16, but we answered many questions too. Yes, let's go on to the next one. Come on, come on. Now need answer for this question. I'm waiting for your answer. Once you got the answer, let me know. यस अमित, अगर 0 था वो 15 होगा. यस. Who will answer first? F of 3. 3? Anybody else? 7, 9? Come on, come on. So many different answers. Nine. Okay, let me execute. Those people who are just looking at the code, just execute. and follow me. F of 3 you are calling, guys, f of 3. And always use this call tree mechanism that works. Otherwise just write in a sequence. What is f of 3 executes? Definitely this one only, because 3 less than 1 fails. So f of 2 plus 3 minus 2 is f of 1 plus 3 minus 3 is 0. And here you need to execute one by one. F of 2. Again 2 I am executing 2 less than 1. So this one, f of 2 minus 1, 2 minus 2 and 2 minus 3 minus 1. One at a time. Don't do all at a time, will not work. F of 1. If you do f of 1, 1 less than 1 fails. 1 less than 1 fails. Remember that. So still it's going to do f of 0. 1 minus 2 is a minus 1. 1 minus 3 is a minus 2. And now when you call f of 0, 0 less than 1 is a true. So it's going to return 1. Remember, it's not going to return 0. And this one also returns 1. This one also returns 1 because all are less than 1. When they are less than 1, they are returning 1. आपको ये जरूर देखना, ये 1 है, 0 है, n है. All are different. Return 1 अलग होता, return 0 अलग होता, return n अलग होता. सही से देखना पड़ेगा आपको. You have to see carefully. Yes. So you got the return value from here is the 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. But f of 0 तो अब तक नहीं हुआ. तो 0 less than 1, oh true. So that also returns 1. Minus 1 less than 1, okay. 1 plus 3, 3 plus 1 plus 1, it's a 5. And now f of 1, अभी तो compute किया. You can just follow it same value. F of 1 क्या किया? It calls the same and it gets right. So it goes to the same f of 0 plus f of minus 1 plus f of minus 2 because 1 less than 1 fails. And this definitely just now we have executed. All returns 1 and it comes back with a 3 value. Yes, you can take that. And this one is the 1. And 5 plus 3, 8 plus 1, 9. So f of 3 gets 9. Come on. 9 is the return value. Come on. लोग को 11 आया, 7 आया, क्या कर रहा है आप लोग? Come on. 9 is an answer. 9 is answer. बहुत लोग किया, कुछ लोग फिर भी एग्जीक्यूशन पूरा दिख रहा है ना, देख लेना अभी क्या क्या फंक्शन क्या रिटर्न कर रहा है. If I ask how many function calls, careful, how many function calls, count it including f of 3. How many function calls? Make it quick. Including f of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 function calls, guys. 13 ना? अरे ऊपर भी 3 है ना? ऊपर f of 1 के ऊपर तीनों देखो, f of 0, f of minus 1, f of minus 2. Right, these are also function calls. Okay, you're not looking at blue. Look at this blue. I made it yellow now. Okay. 13 function calls. Nishu, why 10? लोग कहाँ देख रहे हैं? सामने नहीं दिख रहा है? थर्टीन आंसर देने के बाद भी 10 क्यों बोल रहे हैं यार? 13. Come on guys, please like the session if you are learning something from us. 13 बोल रहा हूँ ना 13, फिर भी 10. सामने आंसर भी दिख रहा है, फंक्शन कॉल्स भी दिख रहा है. दिखाऊं क्या? 13 कैसे हूं? दिखाऊं क्या? एक काउंट कर सकते हैं यार, एक काउंट कर सकते हैं ना. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. रेड मार्क को काउंट कर दो, है ना. रेड, कितना रेड टिक्स है यार? ठीक है, चलो गलत मत करना काउंट. चलो नेक्स्ट वन. Come on. I'll give you 2 minutes to answer it. Once you got the answer, then tell me. Till that time I will set up the environment f of 5 comma 4. Keep doing. Zero, yes. 0, yes. This returns 0. 0 into 5 again 0. So answer is 0. Just 30 seconds. Yes, great. Everyone? Yes, 5 into 5 into 0. Great, great. Yes, 0. How many of you have done 0? Come on, come on. Minus 25. Harsh, क्या किया? लास्ट में भी 5 रिटर्न किया क्या हर्ष? Zero is the right answer. Everyone, look at answers clearly visible, right? I have clearly drawn a tree to understand. Yes, 0. Let's move to the next question. Yeah, अब देखते हैं कितना लोग कर सकते हैं इसको. Yeah. आप ही करना है क्यों? Here my involvement is only after your involvement. So please execute once, but don't use the computer. Don't copy paste this code, and that it's a waste of time and it's not the proper way to understand. Yeah. हमेशा इसको ध्यान दे दो, क्या रिटर्न कर रहा है हम, यही डिसाइड करता आंसर को. अब 0 नहीं आएगा, आएगा देख लेना, आ सकता चांस तो है, बट मुझे मालूम नहीं है. मोस्टली 0 नहीं आना चाहिए अभी प्रॉब्लम ना निशु. प्रीवियसली यही तो गलत करते हैं. प्रीवियसली इट वाज j-2, नाउ इट इज j-1. दिस इज द डिफरेंट. Okay. 25, 625. Most of you are answering 625. That's true. Okay, now understand again. F of 5 comma 4, which calls definitely I into, that is 5 multiply with f of 5 comma 4 become 3 now, j-1. j-1. So one key point, you are assuming that the previous j-2 as it is wrong. Okay, this one 5 multiply with f of 5 comma 2, and this one 5 multiply with f of 5 comma 1, and this one 5 multiply with f of 5 comma 0. When it is 0, what happens? 0 less than 0 is a true. So here we get a 1. So look at how many 5s are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a 5 power 4. 5 power 4. Somebody can answer it, right? So you get a 5 here, and you get 25 here, you get 125 here, you get 625. So in the exam, if they ask what is the value of f of x comma y, which looks like x power y, here functionality is there. Here there is a chance to ask the functionality when x, y are positive integers. Yes. Total 5 function calls, not 4, Pratik. 5 function calls total. The last one which returns 1, that is another function call. Total 5 function calls. Okay. Let's try another question, guys. So recursion will identify your mistakes. Are you able to look at every statement or not? Recursion will help you. This is user defined function issue. That was different power function. This is a different function. This is a user defined function. Okay, come on, come on. I'm giving 2 minutes. One, is that one right? One is the answer. Everyone? One is the answer? Oh, is that? Let me help you if it is wrong. F of 5, what it calls, k is local, right? K, you can write k is the local, return k. Directly, guys, you can directly say x minus f of x minus 2. You can directly write x minus, x is what? 5. That is only returning, right? This is nothing but this whole code. Directly you can replace this. So 5 minus f of 3. But what is f of 3? Again 3 minus f of 1. What is f of 1? That is x is equal 1. It's going to return 1. And what is 3 minus 1? 2. What is 5 minus 2? 3. Why is that you are doing the blinder, it's a blind mistakes. 1, 1, 1. Why 1? Is it mathematics 5 minus 3 minus 1? Here first 3 minus 1. Here it's going to happen this. It's coming from return order, reverse order. Come on, it's not a 1. It's not a 1. You are not returning the values properly. We should do reverse order. Are clearly visible, right? Clearly visible, right? You have called the functions carefully. This is going to return value here. What is it? 2. 2. When it returns this one, 5 minus 2 is a 3. Nishu Kumar, what is no sir? दिख रहा है ना सामने? कितने लोग? 1. Yes, 3 is the correct. And please don't do very quickly. Plus is fine because you do right from right to left or left to right. Plus will give the same answer. But difference is not that. Okay. Clear? Okay, let's see who will answer now. So many calls. You should be very patient. Come on, come on. Anyone? You have 1 more minute to answer it. Very interesting recursive call because many recursive calls are there. 2 printfs are there. So many things are going to print. This is else part. 531135. Arvind, you can discuss in the chat. They will respond. दोनों चलता है यहाँ पर हिंदी इंग्लिश we speak both, right? So as per your requirement we are going to convey you. Yeah, 53113522. Let's try. So you are calling FOO of 5. In the exam, waste of time if you write FOO. Just say F of 5. You have a print. So it will print 5 because else part we are going to execute. Then there will be call, that is F of 5 minus 2 3, and another print, not now, once you return. So what is that print? It has to print 5 no matter what other functions do. And here F of 5 minus 3 2. So the 5 is printed first. This is the first print. And you are going to call F of 3 next. So what F of 3 does, you need to look at again. Otherwise, directly I will take up this one. What it does, 3 prints, that is a second print. Then next call is 3 minus 2, that's a 1. And printf, that after returning, not now, that is also x, so 3, and then we will call 3 minus 3 is a 0. And now f of 1, we are going to call this one. What is f of 1? Again it's going to print, that's 1, because 1 less than or equal 0 fails. And this is the third print. And after 1 minus 2 is the minus 1. We'll call it soon. and printf 1 we will come back, and f of 1 minus 3 is a minus 2. And you know guys, this minus 1, minus 1 less than or equal 0, so it's going to return 1 here. But nothing happens, we are not catching it at all. It will be blind execution, 1 semicolon. Nothing happens. But this is the fourth print. And f of minus 2, whatever it returns 1, nothing happens. But it is printed in the printf only. So whatever is returned from this f, foo, and that goes to when. No use of that. Fine. Next we are going to, after this one, we are coming here back. Now what it returns doesn't matter now. 3 is going to be the next print, that is the fifth print. Now f of 0 is going to return 1. This also returns 1, but no use. And the control returns back to this one, and no use of f of 3 at all. So 5 now is the sixth print. Then f of 2 is going to call something. How many of you did that job? F of 2 is going to call something again. That is, it prints 2 minus 2, 0, and it prints 2, and it f of 2 minus 3 is a minus 1. You know that this is a seventh print. How many of you did that? And f of 0 returns something but no use, and this eighth print is a 2. And f of minus 1 returns something, no use, and then we will complete this f of 5. So gather all the outputs. First 5, second 3, third 1, fourth 1, fifth is a 3, sixth is a 5, and seventh is a 2, eighth is a 2. Yeah, 5, 3, yes. Good. Most of you, half of you, not most of you, only. Fine. This is the output, guys. This is the answer. Clear? And definitely, have you observed that if you don't have the patience, there is a chance to do the mistake. Okay? So you should know what function you are calling, and after returning where should I start execution is very, very important. That is the reason those people who write and do it, they can only do right answer. Mind cannot calculate this kind of things very quickly. So remember, use pen and paper all the time to have the recursive calls. Clear? So I hope we have understood the recursion, and we will practice much in coming sessions. But today I'm going to stop here, and thank you for joining. And you know, today we have completed functions, recursion, and tomorrow we are going to look at structures, unions, dynamic memory allocation, any miscellaneous topics. That all missed topics will be covered tomorrow, and later on we'll practice lot. And after this session, don't forget you have 11:30 a.m. the maths and 2:30 p.m. computer organization, and attend those two classes too if you are preparing seriously for GATE. And today we have 2 to 3 sessions on Unacademy. There is a surprise announcement for GATE, CS and IT students, and if you attend you will know that what you are going to get if you are coming to Unacademy free classes. And practice on arrays and pointers at 7 p.m. also 1 hour we will do practice, guys. Yeah, data switcher will be starting by Vishwadip Sir Sandeep. Yes, today Nishu we are going. We have already done yesterday one session, and today second session is a part 2. Part 2 it is. Today we have another session on arrays and pointers. And we keep on doing practice sessions too. Yeah. So this is my profile. To find all free classes, and visit unacademy.com/DevaGateCSE. So you can access to all my free classes. And this is our Telegram channel. Please subscribe to this and look at yesterday file I have uploaded in the evening. So please browse properly, and I will upload again, but it was already done. Yeah. And these are various YouTube channels which are completely free, and the top educators are teaching on these channels. Please share with your friends like electronics, electrical instrumentation, mechanical productions, and XE and civil engineering and Telugu and SSC JE. And this channel is computer science and gate questions, electric junction, Pathshala and RRB SSC. So many good channels here, and all are good channels, and please share with your friends and please like the session. Don't forget here, and we always talk about the plus and iconic subscription. Anybody is interested, take the subscription. Please use DEVALIVE referral code and share if you are enjoying the sessions, and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget. Yes, thank you so much, and please like the session before leaving. Thank you so much. Bye bye, take care, and see you tomorrow.